and I try things, and I've got nervous energy, and I can multitask.
Sure.
It's never either or. There were some people who didn't know my voice on 702, but who knew the content, because I would tweet live while I'm interviewing you. And I would tweet what you are saying as the minister, as a businessman.
I remember that.
I would do that. So some people can literally in real time see the essence of the conversation on Twitter. Because I knew that people are on Twitter.
Sure.
So you can't say to people, please, pretty please, with the cherry on top,
Sure.
don't watch Twitter and come listen on radio.
Sure.
You've
Sure.
got to go to where the customer is. If the
Yes.
customer wants to hang out on Spaces, you can't be like, oh no, Spaces is not for me.
100%.
Like a real artiste must be like on radio behind the mic. No, you're an idiot, because if the market says we want paint and you say, no, I'm making toffee apple, now's not the time.
Sure.
So do both. And
Okay.
so for the traditionalist who doesn't want to buy a smartphone, who doesn't want to load Twitter, continue to appreciate being on radio.
Sure.
And so if I was on radio still, or had to go back tomorrow, I will continue podcasting. Because there's a unique value proposition for podcasting, and it's beautiful.
Sure.
And similarly, if I was on radio, the way I would use Twitter Spaces is I would say to my listeners, it's 5 minutes before 12, guys. It's almost time for the midday report with Stephen Grootes. But I can see some of you still want to talk about sex with me and Dr. Eve. We're going to have a Twitter Spaces at 1 o'clock. I just need a bite to eat, but I'll find you on Twitter Spaces. Those of you who still want to continue the conversation, check it out there.
Solid.
So the conversation continues, right? And there's connectivity that talk radio has that podcast doesn't have.
Okay.
People can't call in right now. They've had
Sure.
many moments while watching us going like, I disagree, Eusebius. Like, I want to say this. Ask him this question. And they can't interact with us.
Sure.
That is what radio has over us with podcasting. But the thing about podcasting is, number one, there's no time limit. Number two, you can think before you speak.
Yeah.
You don't have to speak to fill the air, which means that the quality of the conversation can be better. You can curate it, you can edit it, and you've got greater freedom. We can swear. We're not beholden to the PCCSA. We can do all sorts of things yet.
Sure.
And so those are the beautiful things about podcasting, and I kind of like that. So for me, it's not either or.
Okay.
To your last question, would a new podcaster benefit from doing radio? Yes, I can't tell you. I'm a bit of a snob. I don't know if you are. How many people think that just because they can be a podcaster, they should be, even though they don't have mic technique?
Sure.
They don't understand the importance of being compelling, storytelling. Some of the fundamentals of good radio can help a podcaster to be better as a podcaster.
Sure.
But that said, unfortunately, some of our program managers and station managers have become so disinterested in taking their job seriously that they've also started hiring people with similar weaknesses on radio. So we can't exactly pretend that every single radio presenter is the gold standard of how to communicate.
Sure.